Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. And a happy new year to all you football fans out there. We have a great game tonight. Joining me today, a familiar face. I haven't seen him in a while, but it is good to see you, Mr. Elliot Evans.
Rich, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. As you can see, life is busy. It's been way too long, though. I missed
Yeah,
these
man.
shows, man.
Good to see you. For those who don't remember Elliot, he and I were both members of the Jordan Patrick Show, where I started with the sports podcasting. And Elliot has always been a great supporter of everything that I've been trying to do. But without further ado, we're going to start with tonight's game. I think the NFL got this right, man. They're giving us a good one. We got the defending Super Bowl champion Rams dropping their banner against the potential Super Bowl favorite, the Buffalo Bills. What do you think, man? How do you see this going?
I love to see it. I love to see the NFL swinging big to start the year.
Yeah,
It can be really hard from year to year to really know who the contenders might be, and some of these primetime matchups get, misjudged, or they go the opposite way and they're trying to give everybody equal screen time. Now, this is it. This is the premier matchup to start the year. Um, it's put up or set up for the Rams as far as defending their title to start the year. And the Bills, we've been talking about them for 3 seasons.
yeah.
When are they going to take that step?
Yeah, some would argue that were it not for a horrific non-squib kick, kicking it deep, maybe the Bills win that Kansas City game, and maybe they play the Rams in last year's Super Bowl. Of course, that's all hypothetical. It didn't happen, but definitely, an exciting game with a fair share of storylines too. You got Matthew Stafford coming off his best year as a pro. You've got Josh Allen coming in, perennial MVP candidate at this stage of his career, and Von Miller helping the Rams win a bowl last year as a rental, and Buffalo gave him the big money. That's going to be interesting because, for Von Miller, it's like, that banner that's dropping down, he had a big say in that. And, he's playing for the other guys. You don't see that every day, and that's kind of interesting in its own right.
No, it's got a little Charles Haley vibe to it.
Yeah.
You know,
Or like when Dion played highest bidder.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you see it every so often. You have some of those. And the thing is, Von Miller's not really a mercenary like that. He was in Denver forever, so it was weird enough to see him suit up for the Rams.
Yeah.
Um, Buffalo's going to be odd too, but the man wants to win more rings. So I don't see anybody in this era hating on that. Where the Rams are the last people to shun glory hunters, right? Their whole strategy last off season was picking up whoever wanted to play for a ship.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
we talked about how the Bucks had taken the same strategy, this kind of overnight dream team thing. I'm not a fan of it, but it's going to be a hell of a time watching these two teams go at it tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, glad I took the day off. Definitely looking forward to this. As far as a prediction, week one is so wacky, and no matter how good the teams are, everybody's a little vulnerable in week one. I think the Bills are just going to come in with a little more fire today, being that the Rams, it's hard to not be in somewhat of a relaxed mode. It's kind of like a celebration, and then you're playing a game. I got the Bills winning this thing. I'm going to go 27-24. I think it's going to be close, but I just think the Bills are going to just be better on third downs. And, with Stafford coming off that elbow injury, he got a cleanup during the offseason. I'm not saying they're rushing him back, but they're rushing him back, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And you know me, I was never on board with Stafford. He proved
Right.
me wrong, did everything he needed to win. But you and I both know it's a game of inches. To say Stafford was the difference in himself is not accurate, but the man did his job and won himself a Super Bowl. As far as what you're saying about rushing him back, I agree. Like, why? It's a long season, man. If you lose week one to the Bills,
Yeah,
your season's not fucked.
it's an
A lot of
interconference
people
game.
lose to the Bills.
Not really a ton of stuff that's going to go wrong for you in any kind of tiebreaker. But I will say this: it's the first game of the season, and I certainly don't want to see the Rams dropping a banner with a backup quarterback. That's just all kinds of off. I think last time that happened, you got to go back to Denver when they went back to back and John Elway retired. To be really honest, I don't even think I remember who the quarterback was. If I had to take a guess and just throw one in the water, I think it was Brian Greasy. That was a long time ago.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, shit. Since Elway, it's been Manning and really no one else, but a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, and a very high-paid Brock Osweiler. That's terrific. He made a lot of money to be very mediocre.
Yeah, well, you know.
Going to veer it over to a guy who's far from mediocre, Mr. Albert Pujols. And I know that when we were members of the Jordan Patrick Show, he was a topic here and there that we brought up for different reasons. Hall of Fame career already etched with the St. Louis Cardinals. He was a big free agent signing with the Anaheim Angels, Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Didn't really work out. He showed his age. Dodgers picked him up last year, minimal impact. But now he's back where he started, and this is more than likely his send-off. And he's kind of refound power towards the end of the year, which is incredibly exciting because in addition to the Cardinals being a playoff team and a potential dark horse contender to win the World Series, this man is only one home run behind Alex Rodriguez, who's sitting on 696, and he's looking to join a very elite 700 home run club. And just to put it in perspective, in the history of baseball, only 3 players are in the 700 club: Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty elite company. You're not really topping that, so it is helpful when you put it into context like that for the newcomers and neutrals like myself that don't follow the sport to at least somewhat appreciate history when it's taking place.
Yeah, and I think baseball's been doing a good job of presenting that too, because we talked last year about the Field of Dreams game. They had another Field of Dreams game this year, maybe not the same impact as the original one, but that's a thing now where the Field of Dreams game happens every year. And I think when you look at some of these records that have an opportunity to fall, a lot of people are rooting for Pujols for the sheer fact that the guy that he's about to jump, was using performance-enhancing drugs at different junctures of his career. You look at the regular season home run record. Aaron Judge, in my opinion, will not catch Barry Bonds on that. He does have maybe a chance at Sosa, but just the fact that a lot of baseball purists still view Roger Maris's, 61. There was a movie about it. And the fact that another New York Yankee is doing it, and just popular around the league, very much so being pushed as the face of baseball. Aaron Judge, I'm speaking on, and he's entering a free agent year, so it's exciting. He's only 6 away from tying, 7 away from crushing the record. So very exciting that, and the Maris family has basically given him their blessing, hoping that he does break the record. Because little known fact to some, Roger Maris was never recognized as the regular season home run record holder when he was alive, because it took him more games than Babe Ruth. And quite frankly, he was never the choice for Major League Baseball nor the Yankee fan base, because he was competing with the very famous Mickey Mantle, who was just everybody's sweetheart back then in terms of popularity for the sport. But quickly, I'll just mention on this, Mets and Yankees both swept yesterday. And It's a fun time for baseball. You know, there is that possibility of a Subway Series. They split 4 games, each winning both games at home. And both have been kind of slumping a little, but yesterday was huge. Yankees did it with a lot of September call-ups, young kids, and it's exciting, man. Oh, Mom Dukes just jumped in here. Hola, Elliot.
Hey!
What up, Mom? Probably doing her morning walk watching us.
Nice.
Final thought, Elliot. Sorry, go ahead. You're up, Elliot. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cross talk you.
September is always a fun time of year for baseball. Again, football's kicking off, so everything's new, whereas baseball's sort of in that home stretch, and you get the playoff races, the storylines lining up for what it's going to look like in the pennant race and all that stuff. So, again, even as someone that's not a baseball head like you and our former host, Mr. Patrick, it's a great time of year for baseball. You see the records falling into place, you see the competitions lining up, and it's good because when you have things like the Tatis scandal and things that are always sort of preventing baseball from having that comeback, it's good to have that sort of fall vibe, especially down here in the South. Like, fall is everything. You get football back, the weather gets cooler, World Series is going to be around the corner. Like, this is the best time of year. It really is.
I have to agree. And then you got the NBA that follows that, as well as hockey. College football's back. That's exciting too. Yeah, and speaking of Tatis, I'll make a quick mention. We did a show last year defending this kid for many reasons. We were talking about unwritten rules and how this kid could potentially be kind of like the Latino Derek Jeter. So it was very disappointing to see that this kid made a poor decision. And I do think that he could definitely come back from it. But he's going to really have to own it and just continue to be that player, which I do think he's capable of, because I've said this before, that a lot of the PED guys, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, to name a couple, I feel that their greatness transcended the game and they never needed that crap to be great. But unfortunately, it's tarnished, just like Pete Rose with his post-baseball antics. But
that's the gamble, isn't it? Like, these players know that when they make the choice, they know they got talent, and they're choosing to they're taking the short road, and you got to feel to a degree. This kid got all kinds of attention, and in what I would say nationally would be a pretty quick amount of time. The baseball guys have been on him for a while, but from my perspective, his celebrity grew enormously in the past 2-3 years.
He even graced the cover of the video game franchise The Show, which is basically the only baseball video game worth playing. And video game kind of similar to like Madden, how the Madden cover has kind of this year, of course, posthumously paying homage to the man John Madden.
They do cover reveals. Like, it's not nothing. Like, he was the next face of the league. They were trying to set him up to be.
Absolutely. And I do believe that Aaron Judge kind of jumped him now because of Aaron Judge's clean-cut image and reminding a lot of Yankee fans from a character standpoint of a Derek Jeter. Before you get out of here, wanted to give your final thought, and I relate to this being a Yankee fan. The Dallas Cowboys 2022 edition. Got some additions, got some subtractions, got a decent amount of injuries, but always have a lot of storylines. They are a very polarizing franchise. Can't deny that. What do you think about your season outlook? How do you see things working out?
Oh, man, how much time you got?
Bro, as long as you want to talk.
All right, so let's say a few things. Malik Davis, running back that I was saying didn't make it through roster cut, but performed really well. That was my one following. As far as the rest of it, Cowboys. We should win
We
10
should win
games.
10 games.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
all the drama
Will
be
be
why we talk about it all year. But at the end of the day,
But at the end of the day, it's going to be
well, most likely make the playoffs.
playoffs.
And are we
And
going
are we going to
to the next step? Get
step
through
get
to
through to
this round
this
if
round
we're
if
there,
already
and
there, and then
then finals again.
finals again?
It's our team is
Our team is in such a
last
last
year, even with the
injuries,
distractions. I still view the Bulls are similar, but the
potential's there.
Two things that concern me just as an observer, because of course I don't wish you guys that well. We play in the same division. Losing Amari Cooper to me is a lot bigger than it's being pitched. I think he was Mr. Reliable when it came to moving the chains. But, this opens up an opportunity for CeeDee Lamb to really take the next step. I was a little confused as to why they reinvested in Gallup when I feel that the guy that they should have reinvested in was Cedric Wilson. That remains to be seen if I'm even correct. I like Gallup as a player. It's just he's coming off an injury. I like the tight end.
Right. Can I just say, at Wilson, they did want to bring by most metrics. And Gallup, opposite the injury, his upside is worth more than the contract.
Defensively, you're coming off a very excellent year. I must admit, it will be hard to duplicate that. Micah Parsons, I do think avoids the sophomore slump. I definitely think he's the real deal. Losing Randy Gregory, I think that could be a thing. We'll see how that plays out. I do expect Zeke to kind of return to form, even if it's just for one final year as a Cowboy. I'm of the belief that he will not be a Cowboy in 2023. We'll see how that goes. But I believe he and Tony Pollard are going to do a great job together, challenging to be possibly the best 1-2 punch in the NFL at running back. I imagine Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon will have something to say about that. I'm going 9-8 for them, missing the playoffs. I just think that the NFC, some of those teams in the West, might be the reason why the second team in the East doesn't get in. Then again, maybe they do. 10-7, certainly not out of the question. I will say this in closing. You might agree with me. Anything less than an NFC title game appearance, and I believe Mike McCarthy is out, potentially Sean Payton in. Sean Payton has always been a favorite of Jerry Jones and a guy that he always wanted to bring back to the organization.
I agree with you in principle. I don't think it's the right move. I don't think it's the right move for the Cowboys. Now, moving on from Mike McCarthy, expectations is probably called, I would say, from a fan perspective and from organizational talent.
Week 3, Monday Night Football. It's actually on Rosh Hashanah, if I'm not mistaken. Giants hosting the Dallas Cowboys. We should definitely link for that one.
We will.
Kayvon Thibodeau's NFL debut, more than likely. He should be back for that game. That's going to be exciting. There'll be a lot of buzz in MetLife Stadium for that one. I miss my nephews, dude. Definitely got to hang out. Maybe we'll go hang at your spot. We'll figure out what we do, but definitely want to link for that one. Elliot, I appreciate you joining me, man. I know that you're out and about, but greatly appreciate it because it's early and it's a weekday, and you were able to join, and I greatly appreciate that. Also, I wanted to ask you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. Thanks. And anytime I love get on here and talk sports.
Before I let you get out, one final thing. Anything new going on with the music?
Oh, we put out an instrumental record called. It's Search for Next Door
For Next Door
Stranger
Stranger
on
on
Apple,
Apple,
on
on
site.
site.
And we're
And
working on
we're working on an album.
We're shooting
We're
for
shooting
how
how
start
to
with
start with
either a
either
single
single
or
or
the whole thing.
whole thing.
Kind of
Kind of out.
We got
We got the project
should have a
to have a full release by the end
2020.
That's awesome, dude. I'll be keeping out for that. Definitely a fan of your guys' music. I'm gonna put that up. Does that look right? All streaming platforms: Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Yeah, I heard some of the new work. You guys did well on that. Definitely a little different than what I've come accustomed to. But quite frankly, I think that a lot of that says that you guys are evolving as collectively and individually as artists. Definitely check out the Next Door Strangers, guys. Guys are very talented, Elliot and Dave. El, it was a pleasure having you on the show, dude.
Absolutely, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
And you're always welcome to come back. Any of these random Sundays or Mondays, I'm going to be doing a lot of previews for the NFL. Zappy's going to be doing a ton of college stuff. So even if you care to jump on there for college, at any rate, you're always welcome on. And I'm sure we'll see you here again soon. Drive safe. I am out.
Thank you.
Have a good.
Later, buddy.